Let me ask you something. Does this sound familiar? Sean Payton was right. Again. And honestly, that's a phrase fans might want to get used to hearing during the Sean Payton era in Denver. His approach to building a team, both through the draft and free agency, is already showing major results, especially when compared to some franchises around the league struggling to stay competitive. What makes Payton's strategy so effective is how different it is from what other teams are doing. While some front offices are chasing flashy names or short-term hype, Payton's focusing on building a long-term foundation, and it's already paying off. Let's push back on this idea that the Broncos didn't do enough in the offseason to support rookie quarterback Bo Nix, because truthfully, Payton made several bold and unconventional moves that are starting to prove themselves. Take the draft, for example. One of Payton's priorities was to avoid players who transferred primarily for NIL deals. Whether you agree or not, the thinking is simple. Find players who love the game and are committed to the team, not just chasing a paycheck. But Payton didn't stop there. He also made a point to draft players with proven leadership, team captains. In fact, no team selected more college captains than the Broncos this year. Denver's first 3 picks, all team first, high character guys. The type of players who could have chased money elsewhere, but chose to stay and lead instead. It's a different approach, and it's one that might just reshape the Broncos' future. Sean Payton has made one thing clear. He's not building this team with flashy names or locker room egos. His philosophy? Bring in players who are team first, hungry, and humble. When people wonder why Denver didn't go after names like Deebo Samuel, Stephon Diggs, or Keenan Allen, the answer is simple. Payton isn't interested in big personalities unless they come with discipline and leadership. He's looking for players who act like Boy Scouts, but play like beasts, and he's finding them. Look at Denver's rookie class and undrafted free agents. Several of them, like offensive lineman Xavier Truss, were team captains. Even special teams standout Q. Robinson was a captain. That's no coincidence. Payton is stacking the roster with natural leaders who can help carry the culture, not just follow it. Payton's approach is already paying dividends, especially when compared to other teams facing early struggles. Take Chicago. Reports are already emerging that the Bears' coaching staff is frustrated with Caleb Williams' body language. That's a red flag, especially for a player expected to lead a franchise. Last season, Williams was one of the most sacked quarterbacks in college football, and not all of that was on his offensive line. Payton flagged this issue early. He said before that quarterbacks who take a lot of sacks in college often carry those habits into the NFL. That evaluation metric led him to Bo Nix, someone with poise, leadership, and a strong track record of protecting the football. At the time, many critics called it coping when Broncos fans claimed Payton genuinely preferred Nix over Williams. But it's looking more and more like that was the plan all along. And here's the difference. No one in Denver has to coach Bo Nix on how to act like a leader. He's already setting the tone from day one. Bo Nix continues to impress, not just with his skills, but with his mindset. You never see him hanging his head or sulking. Instead, he's energizing his teammates and helping lead a culture shift in Denver. And that's exactly what Sean Payton wanted when building around this young quarterback. Now let's talk about another decision that's aging well. Passing on Stephon Diggs. At the time, some critics thought the Broncos made a mistake by not pursuing Diggs to be Nix's go-to receiver. On paper, sure, Diggs is a proven talent, but Payton wasn't just looking at stats. He was looking at fit, character, and locker room dynamics. And that's where Diggs raised red flags. In Buffalo, despite putting up big numbers, he clashed with teammates and coaches. There were sideline blowups, public frustrations, and even skipped practices. If a receiver can't stay locked in with a quarterback like Josh Allen, how would that translate to a rebuilding team with a rookie QB? Instead, Payton went after players who align with the team's values. One standout example, Pat Bryant. He's a receiver Payton believes has the potential to be as impactful as Michael Thomas. Bryant had multiple chances to transfer from Illinois, but stayed committed, even with limited quarterback help. That kind of loyalty and mindset is exactly what this team needs. Meanwhile, other franchises are already dealing with off-field distractions and leadership concerns. Denver, under Payton, is steering clear of that, and it's creating a strong foundation for the future. At this point, it feels like Sean Payton is batting 1,000 in Denver. Just about every move he's made since taking over has aligned with his vision, and more importantly, It's starting to show results on the field and in the locker room. If there's been one small miss, it might have been the early buzz around tight end Lucas Krull, who hasn't quite broken out the way some expected. But even then, it's a minor bump in what's otherwise been an incredibly strong track record. Take a look at what the Broncos are building at tight end. One of the most exciting developments is the emergence of Evan Engram in off-season workouts. He's not just showing up, he's showing out. Despite past injuries, Engram is moving with the kind of explosiveness and route running polish that's rarely seen from a tight end. The quick cuts, the agility, the body control, this is wide receiver level movement from a player built like a tight end. And that matters, especially in an offense built to support a rookie quarterback like Bo Nix. Surrounding him with dependable, disciplined, and dynamic players is the key, and Payton knows it. While some fans might still wish the team had added a superstar name like Stephon Diggs, it's clear why that didn't happen. Diggs has a history of sideline outbursts and locker room friction, from Minnesota to Buffalo, and it's not the kind of energy Payton wants around a young QB. It's not just about talent, it's about fit, leadership, and setting the right tone. Denver is building something that prioritizes long-term success over short-term headlines. And so far, Sean Payton's strategy looks like the right one. When it comes to building a winning culture, Sean Payton continues to separate himself from the pack, and the contrast is becoming even more obvious as other teams begin OTAs. Take New England, for example. Rookie quarterback Drake May is already facing an uphill climb. During the Patriots' first rookie workouts, receivers dropped multiple passes on simple, non-contact routes with no defenders in sight. That's not the kind of start you want for a young quarterback trying to develop rhythm and confidence, and it's exactly why having reliable, focused veterans like Stephon Diggs could have helped. But here's the thing, Diggs wasn't there. It's another reminder of why Sean Payton's decision to avoid high-profile, high-maintenance players is paying off. While other teams are struggling to set a stable foundation, Denver is building around high-character guys who are locked in from day one. Meanwhile, some national media outlets continue to throw out wild takes about the Broncos, often based on shaky analysis. One major sports network recently criticized Aaron Rodgers for skipping Steelers OTAs, except Rodgers doesn't play for the Steelers. In fact, he's not currently on any roster. That kind of error should raise eyebrows for fans trying to figure out who's worth listening to. The takeaway? Be careful where you get your NFL predictions, and trust what you're seeing in Denver. The Broncos are being built the right way, and while others are chasing headlines, Sean Payton is chasing wins. Too often, national media coverage of the NFL drifts into hot takes and surface-level narratives. That's why fans are increasingly turning to independent platforms where the analysis is backed by real data and research, not just headlines. When it comes to the Broncos, the numbers and trends tell a clear story. Sean Payton is building this team the right way. Every move reflects a long-term vision focused on leadership, discipline, and player development. That's why Denver isn't just aiming to compete, they're preparing for sustained success. With the culture in place, the roster shaping up, and young talent being developed the right way, this franchise is entering what could be its most exciting stretch in years. Broncos country has a lot to be excited about. This isn't just about making the playoffs, it's about building a contender for years to come. And if things continue on this trajectory, we're looking at a 5-year window where Denver could be one of the most consistent threats in the AFC.